Good evening, my people. Much blessings, much blessings. Hope y'all had a blessed Tuesday. My Tuesday was definitely blessed. There's some overtime, and now you have Tuesday nightcap. All right, welcome to the nightcap. Last night we spoke briefly on the Mary J. Blige and Misa Hylton situation. And sometimes when you let things sit for a day or two, you can kind of reflect, and different things come to your mind when you hear of situations like this. So, Mary J. Blige is sued by her former stylist, Misa Hylton, for $5 million. Blige is accused of attempting to sabotage Hilton's management deal with rapper Vado. Okay, so for y'all who don't know, Vado's from Harlem. There were rumors that Vado and Misa was dating or are dating. All right, it's all allegedly. We don't know if this is true or not. Right? So, Mary J. Blige, we know, is and Misa are like they're they're like sisters. They're like sisters. You know, I don't know if y'all remember the ladies' night video with Missy, Little Kim, Mary J. Blige, was it T-Bot? Left Eye, rest in peace. All of them was in that video. This is ladies' night, and I'm feeling right. This is ladies' night. Oh, yeah, that's them. That's them. You know, um, it's sad to see our sisters, our black people in general, fight like this. You know, and then a black brother's in the middle of it. For y'all don't know, Misa Hylton is Diddy's one of Diddy's baby mothers, his first baby mother. You know, she's the mother of Justin Combs. So it's really hit home with me, you know, in a couple in a few different ways, right? We all know Vado. He, like I said, he's from Harlem. He was signed with Cam at one point. He was signed with DJ Khaled. That didn't work out. Vado, his crew, most hated Harlem World, Lennox Ave. You understand what I'm saying? I think he's a good rapper. Freestyle rapper. He got some good songs, good tapes, and all that kind of stuff like that. Salute. You know what? What? Okay, so what bothered me the most is that this often happens a lot in the music industry. And when I say this often happens a lot in the music industry, I'm talking about when artists they have management, and when they get when this management company or the manager gets them signed to a record label, or they're in the process of getting signed to a record label, the record label tries to convince the artist that they no longer need that management company or that manager, right? So they could have someone within their label, someone who they probably have a better relationship with, manage this artist. So what happens a lot of times, oftentimes the artist ends up, they say, okay, you know what, they want this record deal so bad. What do? They drop the manager. So all the hard work, all of the dedication, the time, the energy that this person has put into um this artist, blood, sweat, tears, whatever, you know, it goes down the drain. You understand what I'm saying? So what do they have? What do they have to show at this point? So oftentimes this happens and it's not right. It's not fair to the manager. Um, and this happened to a few artists. It's happened to a few artists where they end up dropping their management company, and they would end up the manager ends up losing out or whatever the case is. So this is you know we're not gonna we cannot jump to conclusions. I did some research, and it says label pressure or preference. Sometimes labels push for the artist to drop their current manager and work with someone the label trusts or has worked with before, ensuring smoother collaborations. Broken trust, mismanagement, mishandled opportunities, or financial discrepancies can lead an artist to cut ties before they step into higher stakes contracts. Okay? Me personally, not saying this happened, you know, there's a chance that maybe Votto maybe express some type of concern about his management, with Misa to marry J. Blige or to her I think it's the bodyguard or something like that, you know. Um and when I mean concern, Votto, he has when I'm 45, he has to be in his 40s, so he probably felt a certain type of way with his management, and to the point where maybe Mary was like, yo, listen, if you want to move forward with your with your career, whatever the case is, then you might have to get rid of your management, but like I said, it's all allegedly. We don't know what could have possibly happened. We don't know what happened. I just don't want to point the finger and say, oh, it's Mary's fault. Mary's grimy. We don't know what happened. We just have to look at it from all angles and see what happens. We just know that this is a sad situation. Okay. Sometimes you outgrow your team, before you level up. Votto, his early career had movement, but imagine if he had been backed by a management team with the right strategic mindset during that pivotal window. Timing and team alignment can make or break the deal. Think of Misa Hylton, not just a stylist, but as a visionary who helped artists shape their brand identities early. Like, come on, man. Being a stylist for Mary, being a stylist for Puffy, being a stylist for all of the big artists. The Mace. Well, Groovy Lou, he was a stylist for Mace, but I'm pretty sure she had her hands in stylings for Biggie and Diddy and all of them. You know, visionary who help artists shape their brand identities early. Your manager needs to be that type of visionary, someone who understands where you're going, not just where you've been. Misa has that vision. She has that motivation. This woman, she's a stylist. She's been a stylist for decades. She has like this big mentorship program where they go like on retreats and they mentor kids and things of that nature. This woman is a brand. She knows what being a brand is about, and that's why Votto put his trust in her. Okay, regardless of what kind of relationship they had, someone who understands where you're going, not just where you've been. And then there's Mary J. Blige. Her career, had her ups and downs, but once she had the right people in her corner, her it, all these tours she's doing. Let's look at a woman at Mary's age. Still looking good, looking healthy, still making music, touring. You know, shout out to the people that's in her corner who are doing listen, if you want, first of all, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. If you're watching through Instagram, if you're watching through Facebook, all right. I can't see your comments if you're posting the comments on Instagram. I need you to go to the YouTube page, Big Picture Podcast 212. That way I can see your comments, okay? Um, so yeah. So Um, she had the right people in her corner who respected both her artistry, her growth. She became unstoppable. Sometimes the evolution requires shedding old affiliations to step fully into your power. All right. So if your current management isn't aligned with your future, whether um, creatively, contractually, or strategically, it might be time to let go. A record deal is a major step, and you need a team that can not only get you through the door, but help you own the room. All right. So, you know, um, I read that, it was times where Mary tried to convince Votto to get rid of, Misa's management, and papers and media they say whatever they think they know. All I do know is that all we know is that Misa that she's trying to sue her for $5 million. I don't know where their relationship went wrong. Hopefully they could pivot into a better relationship. But like I said, often this happens a lot with artists. They with artist management. A lot of times they get phased out of these record deals because the labels do not want them to. Um, they don't want to have to pay somebody else 20%, because that manager will get 20% of the earnings that whatever the artist is making. So I did some further research, and then there was even a situation where Megan, what's this girl name, Megan the Stallion. I don't know if you remember when she was going through something with her management company, right? I think it was Rock Nation and her management company. They were feuding, over her masters, over her whether she can put more music out, because she didn't want to deal with her management anymore. She wanted to deal solely with Rock Nation or what have you. So these stuff things have happened like this with Taylor Swift, Prince, Josh Stone, who else? Who else we have? There's a few people where artists have had situations where they had to either fire their management or get new management, or went through situations with the label. David Bowie, he went through a situation something like this. Like her, Red Hot Chili Peppers. This happens in the music industry, right? So it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate that it's happening to Vado, because it's like we we just want him. We At this point we just want him to get a shot. He deserves a shot. He deserves a shot. They're saying that he's had an album that's been shelved since last year. That Mary's not releasing the music, you know, until he lets go of the management. Like, yo, that's messed up, man. If this is true, let that man go. Let that like let that man keep his management, Misa, and just let the boy drop his music. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not fair. It's not fair. But once again, we don't know what type of relationship Misa and Mary has. Um, it looks like it went wrong at one point. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll just sit back and watch, see what happens. And which listen, man, I hope they're able to, you know, um, just rekindle and just like come back together, and be friends, because it's not good to see our black people going back and forth with each other, especially if they've been rocking for 30 years, 30 plus years. This ain't it, man. This ain't the narrative. This ain't what it's supposed to be like, you know? Like, it's enough brothers out here fighting and stuff. Like, we don't need our queens out here fighting over stuff like this. Okay? So listen, one love. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Um, This is the nightcap, and I wanted to discuss this marriage situation. All right. So leave your whatever y'all feel in the comments, in the comment section. We're gonna build more on this, and I think it's very important. Yeah, this is drama, but I think the conversation should be, why are labels always trying to get rid of the artist management teams when these artists are signing with the labels. I think that needs to stop. I think the artists need to have more loyalty with management and stop trying to just get a quick dollar, because you want to keep people around who are loyal. If your manager is loyal, you want to keep him around. The label, you drop a bad album, you drop a bad single, they're gonna get rid of you. They're gonna get rid of you. So keep people around you who are loyal and who gonna be there for you. All right. Any artists that's watching this, make sure y'all take heed to that. All right. Peace and love.